Hello everyone, welcome back to Top Movie Recapped. This time we will recap the movie from 2022 titled Viking Wolf. This movie tells the story of a werewolf who terrorizes the citizens of Nimbu in the Norwegian region. How is the next story? Let's review the storyline of this movie, and we remind you all what we will say. This is a spoiler for those of you who don't have a problem with spoilers. Let's continue the story and enjoy. A group of notoriously tough Viking warriors made a small invasion of the Norwegian territory. They raided a monastery temple in search of anything of value, but unfortunately, instead of finding treasure, they found a secret room in which there was a wild baby wolf. The guardian of the temple at that time begged the Viking warriors not to release the baby wolf because the wolf was a cursed wolf. But the Viking warriors, who did not believe in myths, instead brought the wolf to their ship. As they traveled home, the wolf rebelled and killed all the soldiers on the ship. The baby wolf then escaped to the mainland and into the Nordic forest. The scene moves to 1,000 years later, or precisely in the present, where we are shown a 17-year-old girl named Thale who has just moved to the city of Nimbu. She lives with her mother, younger sister named Jenny, and stepfather. While Thale is watching a movie with Jenny, she gets a message from her school friend named Jones, who tells Theo to come to the lake because there is a party there. Thale then secretly took a drink and went to get her bike. At that time, Thale met her mother named Liv, who was a police officer, and she told Thale not to mingle with bad people. Upon arriving at the lake, they'll talk to Jonas about adaptations in the city of Nimbo. While the two were busy talking, a woman named Ellen approached Jonas and invited Jonas to talk privately. It made Thale a little upset because she had to deal with other people who believe Thale finally decided to leave rather than fuss with the bully. But instead of going home, Thale was alone at the lake dam. Here, Thale accidentally saw Ellen and Jonas talking. When Theo looked back, suddenly Ellen screamed. Thale turned around and found Ellen had fallen covered in blood. Thale and immediately went down to pin Ellen, but Theo was attacked by an animal figure who bit her on the shoulder. Thale was frightened. She approached Jonas and both saw Ellen being pulled by a figure into the forest. Moments later, the police came to investigate the scene. Liv, who happened to be assigned once, found Thale still alive, but she was in a hysterical state. Liv and several policemen then investigated the forest and accidentally found animal hooves. The next day, Liv and his partner named Ilyard interrogated the people who were previously at the lake, including Thale and Jonas. When asked, everyone did not know anything about something that attacked Ellen. Thale also revealed that he did not see what had attacked Ellen. This overwhelmed Liv and still did not find strong evidence whether Ellen was prey to wild animals or attacked by something else. At night, Liv investigated the hooves of the animal he had found earlier and found that these hooves were very similar to wolf hooves but larger in size. In the morning, Liv was contacted by the police that Ellen's body had been found. Liv immediately went to the autopsy room and was very surprised to find that Ellen's body had scratches and lacerations on the side of her abdomen. To clarify everything, the police also contacted a forensic pathologist named William to investigate Ellen's body. During the investigation, William stated with certainty that Ellen was attacked by a wild wolf, but this time the size of the wolf was larger than usual. In the afternoon, while Liv was working, she was visited by an old man named Broden, whose left hand was disabled while hunting. Broden claims to be a werewolf hunter who has been looking for these creatures for decades. He tells Liv that this werewolf is responsible for Ellen's death and must be stopped before continuing his bloodline with another victim, in the sense of infecting his victims so that the victim can turn into a werewolf. Unfortunately, Liv doesn't believe Broden's words because werewolves are just a myth. Even so, Broden gave Liv a silver bullet and said that only this bullet could kill the werewolf. Meanwhile, at a kebab restaurant, Thale and Jonas talk about Ellen's death, both feeling guilty for not helping Ellen immediately during the incident. After chatting for a while, Thale decides to go home. But when Thale just got out of the restaurant, she was bullied by a group of people who mocked the bite wound on Thale's shoulder. It made Thale embarrassed and immediately left them. The next day, Liv and Ilyard teamed up with a group of hunters. They were assigned to hunt the wolf who was the cause of Ellen's death. After going into the forest far enough, Liv and others accidentally found a headless corpse, where the corpse seemed to be attacked by wild animals. Live alert and others then searched up the hill, while the other two hunters were assigned to guard the headless corpse. Liv and her group finally found a cave located among dense trees. When Liv descended the cave, the two hunters who were guarding the corpse were suddenly shocked by the appearance of a black wolf. The wolf killed two hunters and then continued by killing other hunters. Eilert, who was frightened, tried to shoot at the wolf, but he was bitten and fell into the cave. The wolf then tried to attack Liv, immediately shot at the wolf with bullets, but strangely the wolf was immune to bullets. When the wolf was about to pounce on Liv immediately used the silver bullet given by Brodin and shot it right into the wolf's neck. A few hours later, Liv woke up in the hospital and got the news that the wolf that attacked her was dead. Liv then went to Eilert's room, where I learned lay comatose due to a very serious bite wound. When Liv and William investigated Wolf's carcass, William discovered that what killed this wolf was not an ordinary bullet, but a silver bullet, where Thale was able to hear pencil scratches made by her classmates. 2 days after the werewolf was defeated, Liv and William went to Brodin, who lived in his old van. There, Brodin congratulated Liv on successfully killing the werewolf. Brodin explained that this werewolf was not like the usual werewolves. This werewolf walked on all 4 legs, and this werewolf was much bigger. Brodin also explained that this werewolf originated from the rabies virus carried by the Vikings. When the werewolf is old, he will bite young humans and let them become like him. Brodin then added that if there is a person who has been bitten by a werewolf, then that person will change when the full moon arrives. Hearing the explanation from Brodin, Liv was immediately worried, because Theo had been bitten by the werewolf in question. Later that night, Thale is seen on a date with Jonas. While talking, Jonas gets a call from his father, and at the same time the full moon appears from behind the clouds. Thale behaves strangely and begins to turn into a werewolf. When Jonas hangs up the phone, he is immediately attacked by Thale, who has been overcome by a thirst for blood. The next day, Thale woke up to find herself in her shed. Thale then looked in the mirror and found that her teeth had 4 fangs. Knowing she would become a werewolf, Thale decided to leave town, but before that she secretly saw her mother, who was investigating Jonah's death. Elsewhere, Brodin secretly goes to the hospital to visit Eilert, who is in a coma. When Brodin sees the bite wound on Eilert's neck, he immediately pulls out the oxygen hose and lets Eilert die rather than turn into a werewolf. In the evening, Thale boarded a bus to go to Oslo City, but in the middle of the road the full moon appeared again, which made Thale turn into a werewolf completely. Thale then attacked all the passengers on the bus, which caused the bus to crash in the Nimba tunnel. A while later, Liv came to the accident scene and found Thale's watch on the passenger seat. This indicates that Thale has mutated into a werewolf. At that moment, William arrived. Liv asked William for help to kill her daughter before she killed many victims. Meanwhile, Thale was still bloodthirsty. Thale came to her house in wolf form. Thale then tried to attack Jenny, but she undid it after realizing that Jenny was her sister. At that very moment, her father came to hit Theo. Her father then immediately took Jenny to the city by car, but unfortunately it seemed that her father knew that he was bitten by Thale on his hand. This made her father feel weak, and in the end, the car crashed into a bridge. A group of people who were there then tried to pin Jenny and her father, but at that moment Thale suddenly appeared to attack the people. After killing many people, Jenny decides to approach the werewolf and discovers that the werewolf is her sister. At the same time, Liv and William arrive. William then shot the werewolf with a tranquilizer bullet, so Liv and William had time to bring Jenny to safety. While Liv and William were holding the door, Brodin suddenly came and hit Thale with a car. Unfortunately, Brodin's action did not kill Thale, instead made Thale angry and attacked Brodin. After killing Brodin, Thale attacked Liv, but Liv offered her hand, which made her hand bitten by Thale. Jenny then took this opportunity to anesthetize Thale with a tranquilizer bullet, and it succeeded in making Thale fall unconscious. The next day, Liv brought Thale to the hospital, who was still in Wolf's body. Realizing her daughter was very dangerous, Liv was forced to end Thale with a silver bullet. After killing Thale, Liv went home and put the silver bullet on her bedroom table, and the movie ended. Okay guys, so that's the recap of the Viking Wolf movie. This movie overall we think is pretty good to watch, but not too suspenseful like other werewolf movies, although it tells a pretty interesting story. In general, this movie feels less scary. Regardless, We still recommend this movie for you to watch if you really like thriller movies themed around werewolves. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and see you in the next movie recap.